56, where a glitch garbles the entire right side of the screen and you aren't able to eat enough white dots to clear the level. NES Tetris doesn't actually have a glitch at level 29. The level is clearable if you can somehow figure out a way to move the pieces faster. And in 2011, Thor Ackerlund became the first person to reach level maximum speed in the game. All the levels afterwards don't get any faster, so it was theoretically possible to go even higher. Thor's level world record would stand for 7 years, until a teenage hypertapping prodigy, Joseph Saley, broke it in 2018 by becoming the first player to reach level 31. Joseph's skill would allow him to win 2 Tetris World Championship titles in 2018 and 2019, and he slowly kept pushing the level world record upwards all the way to level 35, until an even faster hypertapper Eric ICX came along and became the first to reach levels 37 and 38. Now this was light years ahead of what anyone would have expected when the game first came out, but overall progress on the record was still slow because hypertapping only barely made level 29 speed possible. Deep runs into the 30s still required getting good luck with the pieces and near perfect placements with almost zero margin for error. In order to truly push things a lot further, some kind of breakthrough was needed. But then a new technique came along that would change everything. In 2020, a Tetris player named Cheese watched a video on various button mashing strategies and had the epiphany to combine a multi-finger technique by Hector Fly done on arcade cabinets and another technique that used a finger on the bottom of the controller to push it into another finger on the top. He called this new technique rolling, and it allowed him to easily reach button mashing speeds over twice as fast as the quickest hypertappers. He became the first player to ever reach level 40, and although a hypertapper named Alex Thatch would end up taking the record back, he would be the last tapper ever to do so. Over the next few months, there was a flurry of new records as most of the top players in the scene switched over to the new rolling technique, culminating in Eric ICX, now a roller, shattering the record in 2021 by making it all the way to level 95. With the fastest speed in the game now fully mastered, it seemed like the sky was the limit for how far players could go, but an even bigger challenge than speed was looming on the horizon. NES Tetris was originally designed with 10 normal-looking color palettes for levels 0 to 9 that were bright, colorful, and easily visible. Every time you go up 10 levels, the game then loops back around to the first color scheme. But because this game was coded in the 1980s, everything is written to try and be extremely memory efficient. So the line of code that's supposed to determine the level color glitches out starting at level 138 and starts pulling data from outside the color table, resulting in a bunch of random, bizarre color palettes that can be difficult to see. If you're into code and wondering exactly how and why this happens, Hydrant Dude has a great 2-minute explainer video on the subject that I'll link in the description. Obviously, the colors glitch wasn't a problem when the game first came out because making it to level 138 would have been a pipe dream. But now, players were actually on the verge of getting there. Technically, the first player to reach the glitch colors was Fractal161, but he opted to go for it on the much lesser played PAL version of the game, which runs 20% slower than the much more common NTSC version that is used in the World Championships and most of the main leaderboards, including this one. Eric ICX became the first person to achieve glitched colors on the NTSC version, impressively managing to get it in an actual tournament match and making it all the way to level 100. Of challenges with visibility and sheer endurance were starting to seriously slow down progress again, as Eric's world record game had lasted nearly 40 minutes. It took over a year before anyone was able to get past the dim level that had taken out Eric, and when a player named Pixel Andy finally managed to beat it, he got taken out by an even more difficult level featuring pieces that were nearly pitch black.
Wait, the colors! I can't see it! No! I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it on my screen. It just went dark.
So what was the future of the record? Slow incremental progress at increasingly difficult to see levels? Well, it turns out the most significant achievement yet was closer than anyone thought. Back in 2021, Greg Cannon made a Tetris AI called Stack Rabbit in order to push the game far beyond what was possible for a human. Not limited by stamina or eyesight, Stack Rabbit was able to fly past the most difficult glitched color levels with ease, and Greg ended up coining names for each of the color schemes as they passed, such as calling the dim level that took out Eric Dusk, and the black level that took out Andy Charcoal. Stack Rabbit would continue to play through even more bizarre glitches that happened later on, such as level 235, which lasts for 800 lines instead of the typical 10. But eventually, the game just can't function anymore.
And there's the long bar, and it's gonna crash the game with that Tetris into level 237. Its final score is 102 million.
So what's going on here? In the simplest possible terms, the game is running on code, which is instructions on what to do next, and RAM, which is its workspace where it calculates things and keeps track of what it's doing. The game's code starts to become really inefficient on very high levels, because no one was expected to get this far, and eventually a glitch happens where the game switches from reading instructions from the code to reading the RAM as if it were code. If the resulting garble generates a stop command, it completely breaks the game, leading to it being called the true kill screen. If you want the full technical breakdown, again, Hydrant Dude has a great video on the topic that I'll link in the description. But here's the thing, the game crash doesn't always happen in the same spot, because the glitch can get triggered by very specific